Time for another insider perspective on the world of Under the Oak Tree. But this time you'll be hearing from me, Laura, instead of my silly brother Roy. I live with my human Maxie and her mate Riftan. And though he may look big and scary, he has a heart as soft as a kitten underneath that tough exterior. Let me tell you about the moments that will make you most want to hug Riftan. Because trust me, the guy needs all the love he can get. When Maxie shows up to rescue Riftan after he doesn't return from a dangerous mission, the two of them quickly get in a catfight. He's furious that she put herself at risk, but Maxie can't just sit around and do nothing when her husband is in danger. Then a strange look crosses Riftan's face, and for the first time, Maxie realizes something. Riftan might not understand why anyone would worry about him at all. With no one to protect or care for him, Riftan had always had to fend for himself. The idea that someone was worried about his well-being might simply be incomprehensible to him. He was oblivious about how much she cared about him, or his safety and happiness. Thinking of Riftan when he was a little kitten, all alone with nobody to love him, brings tears to my eyes. This is a groundbreaking moment for Maxie, where she finally understands that being loved is foreign to Riftan. Loneliness is so familiar to him that he can't see his own value through the eyes of another. He loves Maxie to death and would defend her from anything, but imagining someone feeling like that about him, Riftan can't even wrap his mind around that, and that definitely deserves a hug. Even though you'd think Riftan would be pretty unpracticed at caring for others since he's been alone so long, the opposite is true. Instead, he clings to pieces of Maxie that bring him comfort like precious treasures. For example, when Maxie returns to Anatole from Nornui, with my silly brother Roy in tow, she's surprised to find a new box in their bedroom. At first, when she opens it, she thinks it's just a storage case for documents, but soon she realizes the only things inside are letters she's written to Riftan. Like most cats, I can't read. But humans seem to really love the marks they make on paper for one another, and even though I'm not sure what all the letters say, I know how much it touched Maxie that he kept them all. The fact that Riftan had held on to this piece of the past tore at her heart. At the same time, the knowledge that he yearned for her, as she did for him, was an immense relief. Humans are so worried about something called social classes. Riftan doesn't think he's good enough for Maxie because he was born a peasant, whatever that means. To show that he cares for Maxie in the only way possible, Riftan asks Duke Croiso if he can pledge his Gias to her. I learned this is a big important promise from a knight that you can only make once. It's the only way he thinks he has a chance to be close to her, and he'll take anything he can get. Riftan longs for a chance to kiss the hem of her skirt and to call her name. Even once would be enough. But Duke Croiso acts just like the mean dog he is and turns Riftan down cruelly.
I doubt you have any honor to pledge.
If I'd been there, I would have clawed him. Riftan's own negative view of himself is reinforced by a horrible man, and I wish I could erase the memory of this with a hug. Just in case there weren't enough reasons to hate Duke Croiso, let me remind you, he also abused Maxie when she was growing up, and the Duke doesn't stop there. He tries to get control of Maxie again as an adult, treating her cruelly until Riftan comes to the rescue. But when he does, Riftan sees Maxie's father beating her. He understands for the first time about Maxie's hard past. Maxie is mortified that Riftan found out that she was abused. She thinks that this will change the way he sees her, and instead of loving her, Riftan will now believe she is nothing. But Riftan is shocked at even the idea of him seeing Maxie as less than his one and only idol.
You were always on my mind. Even when you knew nothing of my existence, I thought only of you.
Maxie is shocked that Riftan fell for her from afar so many years ago. He's desperate to tell her how much he cares.
It's as if my heart no longer belongs to me. It ceased to be mine the moment I met you. So, how could you call yourself nothing?
For quiet Riftan to actually tell Maxie about his feelings must be so difficult for him. He is not a man who likes to meow all the time. But it's important to him to reassure her with his love. I think he could have just caught her a mouse to show he loved her, but humans don't seem as appreciative of mice as they should be. The end of Book 1 is pretty devastating because it leaves Maxie and Riften separated with an uncertain future. Maxie is off to the Mage Tower in an effort to save Riften's honor and become someone she's proud of. But Riften doesn't care about his honor. He would rather lose everything than lose Maxie. Riften's deep fear about losing Maxie comes from his dark past. As a little kitten, Riften had to cope with his mother's death by suicide. She was desperately in love with Riften's unknown father, and her despair was something she couldn't overcome. He explains to Maxie,
I swore I would rather die than end up like her, that I would never allow myself to become so miserable.
Maxie's determination to go to the Mage Tower puts Riften in the same horrible place his mother was, separated from a loved one. Riften tries to tell Maxie this so she'll understand how deeply she is hurting him, but Maxie is resolved. She has to go if she ever wants to become someone worthy of being with Riften. It was the right thing to do for both of them. I'm so proud of my owner Maxie and all her hard work, but seeing Riften rejected like this is agonizing. For once, Riften is open about his feelings and asks for what he needs, only to see that getting turned down. Anyone would deserve a hug after that, especially Riften. I want to wrap my paws around him and never let go. Wow, what a bunch of heart-rending moments. I'm soaked with tears, and cats hate getting wet. I wish you could have been there in person, but don't worry, I've seen it all. I hope you come back to get more of my reactions to these hopelessly romantic humans. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more UOT content. The humans would really appreciate it.